I am born in France. I would say that what I said last week in Arusha to my honorable colleagues, Chief Justices of Africa, I'm a product of colonialism. My parents immigrated during the Algerian War. My parents are illiterate. They don't know how to read or to write, either French, Berber, or Arabic, none of the language, so they are totally illiterate. My father was a coal miner. And as I said last week, for him it was very important. Justice was more important than food. He was filing many cases against his employers in France, and we had issues of land in Algeria. He was filing also cases, and all the money was going to the lawyers, you know. And we didn't have I didn't dare to ask for books because I thought that I was 12 years old, I remember. And my father said, no, I have to pay the lawyer. I said, but I need also books. We need also toys, you know. And justice is more important. I cannot stand injustice. I can bear hunger, but not injustice. So I don't know why this may be infiltrated, nourished my mind. It's maybe because of this that I am here in front of you today, you know. I don't know actually why I'm doing all of this. Our distinguished presenter, chair mentioned that I was arbitrator in commercial issues and investment issues. At the same time, he said that I was chairing the Commission of Inquiry on Burundi. When I said that I was a judge at the African Court, I'm chairing the Commission of Inquiry at the United Nations. I was also a special rapporteur at the United Nations. People say, why? Wow, it's very impressive. And then when they asked me how much I earn, I said, but nothing. It's pro bono. How come you work pro bono? I say, yes, I work pro bono. And this is what I've been doing for the last 30 years with the African Yearbook of International Law, the African Foundation of International Law, and the African Institute of International Law. This is pro bono work. So I spend all my life working for the business card, in a way, because I have a nice CV. But now, lately, I realized that I have also to work for the credit card. That's why I'm trying to do some arbitration work. But at the same time, my fate, my destiny, I would say the Maktub, brings me to still be very involved with the rule of law. And this is why I am director now. I accepted to become director of the African Institute of International Law, which is also a pro bono work. We don't have much staff. My team is here, Matthias. So that's it. And this institution has been created 11 years ago at the initiative of Judge Abdelraoui Youssouf, who is judge and the former president of the International Court of Justice. So I've been working with him on a pro bono basis for the last 30 years. And I'm very glad to be here today to speak about the rule of law, because the rule of law is the main objective, actually, that the African Institute is trying to promote and to strengthen. And the rule of law actually is a multifaceted concept. It's not easy to define what is the rule of law. So I'm very glad to be here today to share my views on the rule of law in my various capacities. You know, I started my career by teaching at the law school, first by doing my PhD at the Graduate Institute of International Studies in Geneva, and then I had the chance to talk at the law school in Geneva. And then I left for New York as a legal officer for the UN, the legal department, the Office of the Legal Counsel. I resigned. I was bored. I was in New York, actually. It was nice. It had a nice office, nice view on the East River. But I was bored 2 years. I wanted to do something more practical. And I remember my parents went to visit me. I invited my parents in New York. So we made helicopter tours, etc. I took them to the delegates' lounge. They were very impressed. And at one stage, I decided to resign to go to Rwanda, just to do something of my life. And then I went to Rwanda. I resigned from the UN because I didn't have a permanent position. I resigned from the UN in New York. I went to Rwanda. It was the first ever peacekeeping operation integrating the human rights dimension. It was the first human rights mission in Rwanda with UNAMIR. So I went then. It was, at that time, the first High Commissioner for Human Rights, Ayala Lasso. So I went there. I arrived with a jean, with nothing. At that time, there was nothing, no security, nothing. Not even a pen, not even a badge of the UN. So I went there, but before going there, I remember my father, I was in France, I was packing my suitcase. And I packing my suitcase, so I was taking gloves, I was taking some products, you know, some tiger balm that you can put here, so you can smell the smell of the death, because I was advised to bring with me tiger balm, mosquito repellent, and I had a pair of boots, coal miner boots. Those belonged to my uncle. He was working when I was born in early 60s. He was working with these boots. Each of one was almost 1 kilo weight, you know, real caoutchouc. My father said, but why are you going? What is the boots, the purpose of the boots? I said, I'm going to Rwanda. I said, what are you going to do there? I saw you with a suit in a nice armchair in New York. Now you go to the mud. He said, I'm very disappointed. So you're deceiving me. So he left, I packed, and I left. I stayed 3 months in Rwanda. I resigned for certain reason because I lost my illusions about peacekeeping operations and human rights stuff. And I resigned again from the UN. I was hired by the International Court of Justice. I stayed there 12 years. And then I was elected as a judge at the African Court, where I stayed 10 years. Then I left, and I became a special rapporteur, etc., etc. Just to make a long story short, I tried to change the world in various ways, you know. But as a famous rock band, British rock band used to sing in the early 71. In 1971, I remember, I would love to change the world, but I couldn't do it, so I leave it up to you. Actually, I will not leave it up to you. I will still work with you to change the world. But what I learned is that think global, but act local. So that's what I'm trying to do. I wish I can make lots of money with my arbitration work so I can change the world in my way. Thank you very much.